Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to Inside Agriculture with me, Emmanuel Mwemba. Today in the studio, I'm not alone. I'm joined by Claribel Musonda, my co-presenter. Claribel, welcome to Inside Agriculture.
Thank you, Emmanuel, and welcome, viewers.
Today we'll be talking about smart planting strategies for the 2025-2026 farming season. In the studio, we are joined by Mr. Henry Kamwale from Koteva Agri-Science, who is the product manager from the same institution. Mr. Kamwale, welcome to Inside Agriculture.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here talking about matters of agriculture.
Yes.
As you said, my name is Henry Kamwale.
Yes.
And I'm the commercial product manager for Koteva Agri-Science. So I'm excited to be here so that we can together we can advise on what the farmers should be doing.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
And the best way of doing things.
Great, great.
Thank you.
Actually, the discussion for today, we are talking about smart planting strategies for the 2025-2026 farming season. And we have seen the recent rainfall we have recorded has sparkled the preparation for the land as well as planting. Is this the right time for farmers to start planting?
Yes, Emmanuel, we're officially in the season, the 2025-2026 season, and we've been informed by the Met Department in terms of the rainfall that this country has received. A number of areas have received quite some good amounts of rainfall, enough to trigger the land preparation and the planting activities. So yes, yeah, in those areas where they have received a good planting rainfall, they can start planting. So we are officially in the planting season, and farmers, those that have received enough rainfall, and enough rainfall, we are talking of enough rainfall to wet about the first 30 to 40 centimeters of the soil, because that's where the crop grows. So in those areas where they've received enough planting rainfall, farmers should go ahead and start land preparation and planting. Sure.
Great, great. Actually, planting requires farmers to take some precautions. What steps should farmers should consider or implement as they are planting for this season?
Okay, yeah, so often there is panic when the rain starts falling, and farmers go into the panic mode and they start planting throughout. But basically what farmers need to realize is that there is also the risk of the seed fading if the conditions that need to be available for that plant to be the seed to germinate and be successful are not present.
Yes.
So therefore it's important that even as we are in the season, farmers should be worried that they need to have some good planting moisture for them to be able to plant their seed and be successful. And then as they plant, let me also start by warning the farmers that there is quite a heightened counterfeiting of the seed. So for starters, farmers need to make sure that they get their seed from the accredited and credible agro dealers. So there are some scrupulous agro dealers that are just painting the normal grain and presenting it as seed, and farmers need to be aware. So as a company and the seed industry as a whole, we work with the agro dealers that are registered and those that are licensed by the government institution, SCCI. So it's important that they go and buy the seed from the credible agro dealers with the track record, with credentials, not on the market, those agro dealers that just spread seed or on the sun. So that's number one. So the farmer need to ensure that they've got the good quality seed from their credible source. And then they need to monitor that they've got good planting moisture for them to plant, because that moisture need to see the crop through and see the whole germination process to be complete. Often you would find that there is very little moisture in the farmer's plant. As the seed starts germinating, the moisture runs out and the seed fails to complete its germination cycle. So it's very important that the timing of the planting is also looked at as the farmers prepare for this year's planting.
Great.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Kamwale, I think you've mentioned a little bit on the variety of seed type and the quality of seed. You know, there is a lot of seed varieties on the market. So the seed choice, some farmers say that seed choice can determine the success of a season. Okay, so what should farmers consider when selecting the seed varieties right now?
So there exist different types of seeds. Let me touch on maize as an example. So maize seeds comes in different maturity groups. So we've got early maturing varieties, we've got medium maturing varieties,
Okay.
and we've got late maturing varieties. So each of these have got their own areas of adaptations, and therefore the farmer the first thing they need to consider before buying the seed, deciding the seed to plant is where they are located.
Okay.
Because those located in the dry environment where rainfall is traditionally a problem need to take caution when selecting the seed.
Okay.
We may not recommend late maturing varieties for such types of farmers who are in those areas,
Okay.
because these require a very long period in which to grow and complete their life cycle. So the medium maturing variety is somewhere in the middle. They are not too early, they are not too late. And then we've got the late maturing varieties.
Okay.
Traditionally, these late maturing varieties are very suitable for high rainfall areas. We are talking of region 3 in our agroecological region setup. So these categories are the first consideration. The second consideration is also when the farmer wants to plant. There are those farmers who want to plant very early so that maybe the crop matures in good time.
I'm sorry to cut you short. So when you talk of early maturity, so like this period, this is early or it's medium or late?
Okay, so early in terms of the period it takes to have the cobs and dry up.
Okay.
So that's a period we are calling whether it's early, and it could be anything from 100 to 115 days from the time of planting, and the medium could be anything from 120 to maybe 130 days. So it's a time from the time you plant to the time the maize is ready. Yeah, so the early maturing completes their life cycle very early. So if you plant it very early, if you plant it like in November,
yes.
if you plant it like today, it would have matured maybe by beginning of February. And then the rain is still raining, it's still pouring. So you run the risk of, risking the maize to rot.
Okay.
Yeah, so now, depending on the maturity, you can also time the planting depending on the maturity. Okay. So if I was a farmer and I need to plant right now, and I would start with the late maturing varieties because those they require a longer period.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so if I plant now, because they take long, they will be maturing somewhere end of February or March or mid-March. Then I would follow up with the medium maturing variety, and I would end with the early maturing variety, because the early maturing variety, even if I plant in December, they'll be maturing right about the time the rains will be terminating. So that's the way you time it based on the maturity of the maize.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's talk about planting basics.
Yes.
You know, I'll give an example. When we were growing up, you know, our parents used to tell us that with the first step, second step, that's where you put your seed.
Yes.
So you find that we have different types of seedlings with longer steps, others with shorter steps. So in those angles, or maybe the top of soil, how much soil should be on top of that seed.
Exactly.
So we talk about maybe the spacing, the depth, and the planting population.
Yes.
So what are the key guidelines you could give to farmers?
So planting population is a very key parameter the farmers must look out for. So every seed on the market has an optimum plant population that it can handle. Others they take a very low plant population. Others they take a very the stocks are strong. They can take the highest of the population, even up to 60,000, 65,000 plants in a hectare. So on average, the farmers are using the population of about 44,400. That's the 90 between the rows
Okay.
and that 90 centimeters,
Okay.
and then 25 centimeters from one plant to another.
the other.
So when you use that spacing, you are looking at an average of 44,400 plants in 1 hectare.
Yes.
Okay.
That's good enough. But then for the higher yield goal, you can push even higher than that.
Okay.
There exist seeds on the market that can handle the population even up to 60,000. So farmers need to make a choice on whether they can go with a very low plant population. Maybe they want to increase it because there is still room to increase.
Exactly.
Yeah, so depending on the variety, it's important that they consult the owners of the seed and say, okay, this variety, what population can I plant it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because other varieties, you can even plant up to 60,000 plants. You can reduce the intra-row, the inter-row spacing from one row to another to even 75 centimeters, and reduce further from one plant to another plant.
So
And
you
maybe
put one seed in a hole, or you put three seeds
Three
in
seeds
a
in
hole?
the-
it depends. So if you are using one seed,
Okay.
then the spacing needs to be smaller.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when they are using two seeds, it means there will be two plants in there, and they will need enough
Nutrients.
area and enough nutrients and enough space. So then you might need to increase the spacing from one plant to another.
Is there a
Okay.
specific
So basically, let's say the type of agriculture, like conservation agriculture. So conservation agriculture is where farmers are just doing potholing.
yes.
So from one row to another, it will be like 70 centimeters. And then from one plant, from one hole to another in the same row, you are doing like 25 centimeters. And so if you put two seeds per station, you might need to increase the distance from
distance.
Oh,
one
yeah.
hole to another.
Okay.
But then if you are putting one seed per station, then you might need to squeeze up because plants need to have room to be able to grow, to be
Yeah.
able to have air circulate, because they need air, they need oxygen, and
Okay.
Yes.
for their biological processes.
Okay.
So if you squeeze them too much, what will happen is that the maize will not have room to breathe, for starters, and they will be competing for light. Light will not be circulating, and they will be competing for light, so they will grow very tall,
Yes, yes.
seeking light.
Oh, yeah.
And as they grow tall, their stalks will be very weak, and they are bound to break and even fall. You are likely to record higher incidences of stem lodging because it has grown very tall without really strengthening
Okay.
their stalks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why the plant population needs to be managed, and not too low because they are wasting land, but not too high to compromise the ability of that crop to sustain that population.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, so
great.
the farmers need to be aware of the spacing they are using, and that is from one row to another and from one plant to another.
Okay.
On average, when in 1 meter, they need
Yes.
to have about 5 seeds.
Okay.
Yeah, if they space up 1 meter, if they have 5 seeds, then they are okay. Then
Okay.
they have a good plant population, an optimum.
So those measures apply to traditional farming or conventional farming where they use weed killing?
Well,
the same
on average, conventional farming.
Okay.
But if your yield goal is very high, you can even go higher because now we've got large-scale farmers who want to optimize and make sure that they maximize on the potential of that.
Okay.
Of that. So they may do even more.
All right. All right.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah,
Mr. Kamwale, let's talk about fertilizer application.
yeah,
Many farmers actually they struggle when it comes to applying fertilizer.
yes.
Yeah, so what is the correct time for farmers to apply basal
Yes.
dressing fertilizer and the top dressing fertilizer?
Yeah. Why do we apply fertilizer?
Okay.
Okay, I've been to areas where they even discourage applying fertilizer. So basically, the crop needs nutrients, certain nutrients that are required by the crop for it to grow from point A to B.
Yes.
Now, the soil is the primary source of of those nutrients. So in the soil, there are a lot of nutrients. There are about 16 to 18 elements that
Oh,
are
wow.
required.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've got major elements and micronutrients.
Okay.
The soil, having been used for some time, may be lacking in some of those nutrients.
Okay.
That's why it's imperative that now we supplement using external sources like the fertilizer.
Okay.
Commonly, these chemical fertilizers, they are formulated in a certain composition as to give what is most lacking in the soils. That's why we need fertilizer. And each of these nutrients are needed at a particular time, at a particular stage of growth of the plant. So now when you talk of the basal,
Yes.
the basal means down. So the basal must be applied at planting. Yeah, it must be planting at the time of planting, either banded or side dressed. Banded meaning that you have a hole, we put fertilizer,
Yes.
bury a bit, and then put the seed, so that as the roots are growing, they find fertilizer, or just by the side of the seed, but make sure it doesn't touch with the soil. So that's the basal. Now the top dressing fertilizer is mainly nitrogen, because now the crop is in its active growing phase, and you need a lot of nitrogen to supply the protein requirements. So the urea, anything from 4 to 8 weeks is a good time. Yeah, there is no standard time that you must always apply at 6 weeks, because the problem may occur before that 6 weeks, and the farmer must not wait. So the farmer must ensure that inspecting the crop is very cardinal for the farmer. If they see the crops starting to pale, they need to know that the nitrogen is reducing, and they need to intervene and not wait for 8 weeks, even when the problem has occurred in the field.
Okay, Mr. Kamwale, you know, early rains often bring early pest pressure, you know, like pests like slugs, snails, or cutworms. So what should farmers be looking out for? Okay,
so these pests exist in the same environment where we do our farming. So there are soil-borne pests like the cutworms and the grubs, and you know. So cutworms, those are the worms that cut the seed. As it just come out of the soil, you find that the soil is cut just by the soil line there. Those are cutworms. And then there are also armyworms that have come to stay. I think every year we've been talking about armyworms. So it's important now that as the farmers prepare for the season, they have in their budget a provision to buy the chemicals necessary to combat the armyworms, because we expect them, they will be very prevalent. So these are the pests farmers should be looking out for, and there are a lot of interventions, chemicals on the market that they can use to combat this problem.
Oh, thank you so much. On climate smart farming, what practical steps can small-scale farmers start applying right now?
Okay, so climate change is here to stay. And climate change can relate to either excessive rainfall or deficient rainfall. But of late, we've been seeing more of deficient rainfall than excessive rainfall. So in the advent of climate change, farmers need to approach farming very cautiously. I would encourage staggered planting. So if a farmer should not just plant maybe one variety, one maturity, maybe they can spread. They have maybe a late maturity if they're in an area that can sustain. If not, they can maybe look at 2 maturities, a medium maturity, maturing variety, and an early maturing variety. Maybe they plant a medium maturing variety, and then after 2 weeks they plant some more. So depending on the drought, if a drought was to occur, at least the effect it will have on those 2 plantings will vary, and that way the farmers they increase the chances of their maize surviving. Other strategies, they need to adopt conservation agriculture. Instead of disturbing the whole soil, they should endeavor to practice conservation agriculture, where they just disturb the soil where they are required to be planting. That way there is conservation of moisture. They should also control the infield drainage to make sure that there is moisture retention, and also reduce on cutting down trees. Let them only cut the trees where they are planting. This indiscriminate cutting of trees is a practice that is bringing us to this climate change. So we need to make sure that we conserve our trees.
Great. Mr. Kamwale, even as we are winding up our conversation, what practical solutions is Koteva Agri-Science offering to both small-scale farmers and the commercial ones?
Thank you. So Koteva is a very innovative company, and we are consistently innovating to make sure that we give the farmers the tools, the necessary tools to enable them survive this climate change. This is why almost every year, we are releasing new and climate smart varieties. This year we've released a variety called the Pan 4M101. It's a very early maturing variety and drought tolerant. So we've got about 3 early maturing varieties. We've got a variety for each ecological region. So innovation is one thing, but also we are a farmer-oriented organization. So what we do is put up the facility for farmers to enable them to talk to us whenever they need advice. We've got over 40 field officers dotted around the country to ensure that farmers are able to get advice at their doorsteps in all major agriculture districts. So we are constantly talking to farmers, advising them on the best way of practicing their agriculture and making sure that they get the most out of the Koteva products that they buy. But on top of that, on forums like this, we are very much willing to partner with you and make sure that we use this platform and make sure that we contribute to the development of agriculture in Zambia. And we don't take this for granted. We thank you for the opportunity, and we will always work with you.
Great. So now, before you go, Mr. Kamwadi, what is your key message to the farmers who are watching with regards to the 2025-2026 farming season?
So to the farmers, we can only wish you the best in this 2025-2026 season. Realize that farmers, for you to be successful, for your crop to be successful, it's not one action that will make your crop successful. It is a series of actions that culminate into a successful crop. Planting on time, choosing the right variety, weeding your fields, putting fertilizer, the correct amount, the correct placement, and the correct quantity. Making sure that you combat the pests and diseases, all those collectively put together, they will translate into success. So there is no season without any challenge. Ours is to navigate the challenges that we meet and make sure that even in the advent of challenges, we have a successful crop. I have no doubt in my mind that even this year, we are going to have a bumper harvest, and I can only wish you, the farmers, the very best in this season. Koteva has an open line. Whenever you want advice, we have an open line. You can reach us, and we'll be excited to talk to you and work with you the whole journey until harvest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Hope, Claribel, you have learned something. Since you said you are preparing for the planting.
I'm telling you.
So the strategies are here.
There.
Yeah, so as you go out.
But not,
yes.
As you go out. I don't know which type of varieties.
You've dug the portals.
I think on that one you consult.
Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Well, dear viewers, that's it for today on Inside Agriculture. We are talking smart planting strategies for the 2025-2026 farming season. From me, Emmanuel Mwemba, and my co-presenter, Claribel Musonda. Not forgetting the entire Zanis production team. It's goodbye, and continue enjoying the rest of our programming. It's bye. Inside Agriculture is the program that keeps you informed and empowered on everything trending in the world of agriculture. This program interprets, government agricultural policies showcasing resilient farming practices, cutting-edge technologies, and the inspiring individuals driving innovation. Are you a farmer, agriculture entrepreneur, or simply passionate about food security and national development? This is your platform to stay ahead and get involved. Don't miss out. It is your time to be part of Zambia's agricultural transformation and contribute to economic growth and food security. Join us every Sunday at 14:30 hours only on Zanis TV, the People's Channel.